Hello, my name's Tim Boland and we're here today to discuss the perfect canter for show jumping. And we're at Melbourne 3-day event. We're on the final day, and riders you can see in the background are preparing for their show jumping here. And I'd like to go through a couple of things that I think are very important to achieving the elusive clear round. Okay, so what we're searching for, you see that all the best riders seem to travel in the same perfect rhythm. Not much seems to happen. There's no kicking or pulling in front of the fence. So it is all about keeping the horse smooth and in a rhythm, and their attention on the front rails of the fence so they can read the fence. And obviously for a vertical, we might slow it down for a little bit, and an oxer we might ride on a little bit, but we're not doing that just in front of the fence. We're doing that well away from the fence. So the last 2 or 3 strides, we're absolutely sitting in the middle of the horse, giving it every chance to be careful. Horse was a bit spooky there, but it was a good ride. That was an unlucky fence down. So in general, you want to think of your horse as not getting any surprises in the ring. You've got to prepare it for everything. So the rhythm is not going to stay the same throughout, but you know, it's subtle differences. For a vertical, you might come back 10%. For an oxer, you don't want to be riding on, but you've got your canter organised early. So that was a lovely ride to the last fence. I always say, you see the top riders look like they're doing nothing. They've just got the horse so organised. There's no kicking or pulling in front of the fence. The best riders do as little as they can, as early as they can. If I say nothing else, that is the most important thing. This rider comes into the ring, their focus is always on the middle of the front rail. So as soon as you're committed to take off for one, your eyes are searching for fence 2. And you've got to always be conscious of time. So it's not a great start, but you've got to put that out of your mind. Keep the engine rolling there into 2. That wasn't such a terrible ride, but this rider's reins have got a little bit long, and now she's had the first 3 fences down. She's a bit nervous, but that was better. Rides onto that vertical. I think she's in a better rhythm now. But see, notice here, the horse is just a bit unsure of what's going on. We had a nice alert look there. Hopefully the rider's settled down and relaxed a bit more now. Well, I think that was quite a good ride. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes on the 3rd day of a 3-day event, we can give them a lovely ride, and they're just going to have fences down. They're a bit tired, or some horses are more careful than others. I don't actually think this horse is that careful. And I don't think the girl's done that bad a job either. But there'd be some things to work on there with their trainer for sure. This is quite a careful horse with a very experienced rider. See, that was a deep distance. She dared him to that deep distance, and unfortunately just had it down, but in travelling in great balance. And then she gets a nice flexion around the corner, very smooth. He's got his ears pricked, wondering what's next, but she's given him plenty of time to sight this double. And look at her eyes, she's straight on to that next fence, keeps travelling around, so there's no risk of time penalties here. Again, I don't think it was that helpful to her there. I think it was a good ride. Probably an inexperienced horse, but it's getting the benefit of a wonderful ride, and I'm sure he'll learn from this experience. But it's still a great role model. Well, there she's gone very deep and got away with it. So at the last day of a 3-day event, I mean, we're up against a lot of factors. And here at Melbourne, we've got the indoor arena. We've had cross country just yesterday, over 8 minutes for the 3-star and 10 minutes for the three-star. So it's a lot of exertion. Horses are often stiff and tired. So overnight, the riders have had to prepare to get their horses as fresh as they possibly can for the next day. And for horses that aren't naturally careful, that can sometimes be what tips them over the edge. So it's very important in the warm-up. They're trying to remember everything they've done at home with their trainer at home. And some horses want to travel in a frantic way, and that's how they jump their best. Other horses look very sleepy, but one thing's for sure, that when the rider comes into the ring, they've got to get them as motivated as they possibly can, because when they come in here, they almost all fall behind your leg. It's such a big shock. There's bright lights, a lot of people, and an arena full of show jumps where they've gone from a very quiet arena out the back. So this rider's having to regroup. He just ran across the face. I think this is quite an inexperienced rider. It looks like an inexperienced horse who's not having the best day at the office, but I'm sure they'll learn plenty from this. Okay, so it's certainly a day she'd like to forget, but there's no use pulling them around. Once they finish, your competition's over, and we have some good and we have some bad. It's just disappointing for her, but she'll have plenty to work on for next time. So again, here comes a horse. She means business. She's in 2-point position, just travelling down to the judge. She's opened the canter up. It is most unusual for eventers to jump inside. And the time is always influential here at Melbourne 3-day event, so we can't just pot around and jump the fences clear. We've got to achieve the optimum time. First looks very alert. She's got a good canter, good position. Let's see how we go. We're going to set the tone at the very first fence. Good start. Terrific jump and great canter. The horse had every chance to jump that fence. If it had it down or had a problem, it certainly wouldn't have been the rider's fault. Great shot. She's quickly got horse's eye on fence 5. Saves time, cuts the corner, but in perfect balance. Hasn't rushed or pulled it around. A bit away from that vertical, but gets away with it. Is very positive and very unlikely to get time penalties. Yeah, it was good to be a little bit braver to something with a water tray. And a nice clear shot at 8A. It's in for the 2 strides, no problem at all. Here we come to the final line. She's keep the engine rolling because this is the longest run on the course. She just kept the engine rolling. Little balance for the vertical. She's probably a bit onward, but she got away with it. And it's a wonderful job. It was a very expertly ridden round.